if you are aware of a third party that has not been examined yet by the USPTO, you can file a letter of protest, basically doing some of the research for the examining attorney, letting them know that there's these other companies using the similar trademark, or you're using the trademark already. You're basically just giving the examining attorney a little bit more information to help them make the determination that there's a problem with the application.
What is trademark infringement and how does it occur? So trademarks, as opposed to patents, protect your business. And it protects either a name or a design or a piece of art that represents the goods and services that you're selling. And what really is valuable is the goodwill that goes with it. Okay, so a lot of companies work for years, sometimes decades, in developing a name, right? Know how people react, either emotionally or psychologically, to, oh yeah, I know that brand and I know that product, and I can associate the value that it brings, the types of products, the care they take, the customer value, right? The customer service. And so what happens if you infringe, if another company, entity, decides to somehow steal that goodwill, right? They're trying to take some of that mojo, that energy, that value that you've built over the years and put it toward their own separate commercial enterprise. That's infringement. So if ever you have bought a product and it looks or smells or sounds like a well-known product or a product that you are familiar with, and you're like, gosh, is this related to that other one? And if you buy that product thinking, oh, maybe this is the same, right? It's like the same type of shoe as Nike, but it's got some sort of a swish. It's spelled differently. It's got some extra striping on there, but that's probably trademark infringement. So it's actually a black and white picture that has a trademark for people to color in a blog. I'm not sure if I totally get that. Let's see.
Yeah, black and white picture, there's a trademark in it for people to color in a blog. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so the black, the trademark, it includes the trademark potentially. Yeah, there's no reason that people couldn't, I guess, if you had a menu, I'm thinking like if you're a restaurant and you have some like, coloring books or something for the kids and they'll go in one of the black and white pictures, that's fine. There's no concern there. Unless I'm misinterpreting that. What do you think?
No, I think that's right. I think, if they're talking about, of course, a blog, like an electronic website, you're going to put up someone else's, logo for people to color. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know more about the actual situation because it's a bit hard, right?
Is there a good or standard way to condense all of the iterations of applications and granted patents for a citation in a table of references? Prior art search, curriculum vitae. I'm particularly thinking of IP that's been filed in numerous countries and courts where the titles, authors, bodies are largely the same, but the granted claims may differ. Okay. You're basically looking for this for a giant online library of everything that's ever been filed. Me too. I'd love to have that. I think the answer is no, but I do think there are organizations that attempt to do so. I mean, the number one that comes to my mind is World Intellectual Property Organization. WIPO is the world by definition. They're trying to be the source for intellectual property. So I think they're on their way. They've got lots of tools and resources and ways you can go as an individual and search on their website for really technical subject matter, keyword searching, lots of different ways you can do Boolean searching, type by class, international class searches, that type of thing. So I think that's probably my answer. But the real answer is there's lots of different ways and lots of different places to find this information. The USPTO certainly is a great place to go for US-based patents. That is the number one place to go begin that search. There's a new public search tool that they've got up there. Know that it's not going to provide what's called non-patent literature, which is basically everything else that exists in the world. There are, believe it or not, folks that just want to just make stuff and don't seek patent protection. And those could act as what's called prior art to prevent you from getting a patent on the same or similar subject matter. So it really is near impossible to really have this at all knowing, right, one place. But I think WIPO is going to be the place to go with.
Yeah, just reading between the lines here, it almost seems like this individual's looking to find like opportunities where like trade or patents have been filed, but like not the full claims in some countries. And I'm kind of curious what their motivation is for wanting that information.
Yeah, I think also that's a good point. I think one other thing to mention is that if I get a patent in only the US, that will prevent someone outside the US, let's say in Germany, from getting a German patent. It must be new, not just within the country, but in the whole world.
It's
I
got to
think
be
that's
novel.
important to clarify. Yeah. So new in the whole world, doesn't matter which country you're searching necessarily. So I understand that the U.S. attorneys needed to file a formal trademark application in the U.S. However, does that apply to a letter of protest? Did we cover this already? Can a
No,
Canadian entity submit one, or is it necessary for them to hire a U.S. attorney for this?
that's an awesome question.
Okay.
And I know part of the answer. So the first part, U.S. attorneys needed to file a formal trademark application to the USPTO. Yes, but only if you're not a U.S. citizen. So, if you are a Canadian entity, then yes, you'll have to have a U.S.-based attorney file that application for you in the United States. Now, if you have a trademark in Canada, you potentially could take it to the United States with Madrid Protocol, potentially. That would be an option for you. But the letter of protest, do you have to have do you have to have an attorney do the letter of protest? I don't know. I really don't know. My initial thought is yes. Yes. But I could be wrong about that.
Very good. And that's a U.S. thing, a letter of protest.
Yeah, I imagine that they have the same.
Somewhere.
So if you are aware of a third party that has not been examined yet by the USPTO, you can file a letter of protest, basically doing some research for the examining attorney, letting them know that there's these other companies using the similar trademark, or you're using the trademark already. You're basically just giving the examining attorney a little bit more information to help them make the determination that there's a problem with the application.
Got it.
And you would do that as opposed to, or maybe in conjunction with an opposition at a later date. So if you're trying to avoid the opposition, maybe you consider doing a letter of protest. And if that's not persuasive to the examining attorney, then you can at least file the opposition.